Welcome to Ank's English, the podcast that's here to help you master English with passion, clarity, and a whole lot of spark. I'm Ank, your host, and I'm beyond excited to dive into today's episode. So, here's the big question. How do you speak English in a way that grabs attention, earns respect, and leaves a lasting impression? Whether you're walking into a job interview, leading a team discussion, or just chatting with someone new, the way you express yourself can open doors and build bridges. Today, I'm unpacking 8 powerful strategies to help you sound confident, polished, and completely in control, while still keeping that natural charm that makes you unique. Ready to transform your English and shine in any conversation? Let's jump in with energy and heart. Let's kick things off with the very first moment of any interaction, your greeting. It's like the opening scene of a movie. It sets the stage for everything that follows. Imagine walking into a meeting and instead of a casual bow saying, "Hey, what's good?" you say, "Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to connect today." That simple shift sends a signal of professionalism and warmth. It's like stepping onto a stage with confidence. It makes people notice you for all the right reasons. And here's a golden nugget. In formal settings, use titles and last names unless you're told otherwise. So, instead of "Hi, Sarah," try "Good afternoon, Miss Thompson." It's a small touch, but it shows you're attentive and respectful. I'll confess, I once kicked off a presentation with "Yo, everyone," and instantly wished I could hit rewind. A polished greeting like "Hello, thank you for joining me" would have set a much stronger tone. Try it next time you're in a professional setting and watch how it shifts the energy in the room. Now, let's tackle a common pitfall that trips up even the best speakers: being overly wordy. I totally get it. When you're trying to sound knowledgeable, it's tempting to weave long, fancy sentences. But here's the truth. Simplicity is your superpower. Clear, concise speech doesn't just make you easier to follow, it makes you sound confident and in command. Let's break it down with some examples. Instead of saying, "In the event that we encounter unexpected obstacles, we'll need to adjust our approach," just say, "If we face obstacles, we'll adjust our approach." It's sharp, direct, and packs a punch. Or how about this? Instead of, "With regard to the fact that we're rolling out a new initiative," try, "Since we're rolling out a new initiative." It's like clearing the clutter from a desk. It lets the important stuff shine. One more. Instead of "Due to the reason that the meeting was delayed," say "Because the meeting was delayed." See how crisp and professional that sounds? Great communicators don't bury their ideas in extra words. They let them soar. Why does this matter so much? When you're wordy, you risk losing your listener's focus. People's attention spans are short, and every unnecessary word is like static on a radio. It distracts from your message. By keeping things concise, you're showing respect for your audience's time and making it easier for them to connect with your ideas. Think of it like cooking a meal. You don't overload it with spices. You highlight the main flavors. For example, instead of opening, "At this particular moment in time, we're exploring the possibility of new strategies," say hence. "We're exploring new strategies now." It's not just shorter, it's more engaging. I learned this the hard way early in my career. I used to ramble during team updates, thinking it made me sound thorough. Then a colleague told me, "Ank, get to the point and you'll own the room." That advice changed everything. Try cutting just one extra phrase from your next conversation, and you'll feel the difference. Next up, let's talk about those sneaky filler words that creep into our speech like uninvited guests. You know them. Sort of. They slip in so easily, especially when you're nervous or thinking on your feet. I'll never forget recording a practice talk and cringing when I heard myself say like at least 10 times in a minute. It was like my words were tripping over themselves. These fillers can make you sound hesitant or unsure, even when you're bursting with great ideas. So what's the fix? Swap them for a pause. Yes, a brief moment of silence can make you sound thoughtful and deliberate, not scattered. For example, instead of think this plan could, work, say I'm confident this plan will succeed. Hear how much stronger that sounds. And while we're at it, watch out for words like basically, actually, or technically. They often add nothing but noise. Instead of basically, we need to finish this by tomorrow. Just say we need to finish this by tomorrow. It's clean, it's powerful, and it shows you mean business. Let's dig a little deeper into fillers, because they're more than just a bad habit. They can undermine your credibility. Imagine you're presenting to a client and every other word is or like. It's hard for them to focus on your expertise when they're distracted by the clutter. A pause, on the other hand, is like a deep breath in a conversation. It gives your words space to land and makes your listeners lean in. Here's a trick I use. When I feel a filler word coming, I take a slow breath and let the silence work its magic. It's not awkward, it's commanding. Try practicing in front of a mirror or recording yourself to catch those fillers. I did this for a week, and it was like shining a spotlight on my speech habits. Over time, you'll train yourself to pause with purpose, and your confidence will skyrocket. Now, let's dive into the power of word choice, because the words you pick can completely change how people see you. Weak or uncertain phrases can dim your brilliance, while strong, assertive language makes you unforgettable. Let's swap out those shaky phrases for ones that radiate confidence. Instead of, I think this might be a good idea, try, I'm confident this is a strong idea. It's bold and shows you believe in yourself. Or instead of, I was given the chance to contribute, say, I took the lead on this project. It paints you as someone who seizes the moment, not someone who just goes with the flow. Here's another. Instead of, maybe we should consider this option, go with this. Let's move forward with this option. It's decisive and screams leadership. And here's a classic I hear all the time. Instead of, does that make sense? Which can sound like you're doubting your own clarity, try fine. Let me know if you have any questions. It's open, professional, and keeps the conversation flowing. One more, instead of, I hope this works out, say, I'm certain this will succeed. These tweaks aren't about being pushy. They're about owning your voice with clarity and conviction. Why is word choice so critical? Because it's like the outfit your ideas wear. Hesitant language is like showing up in sweatpants. It might be comfortable, but it doesn't inspire confidence. Assertive language is like a tailored suit. It makes people take notice. I once worked with a teammate who had brilliant ideas, but always said, I guess we could try this. No one paid attention until she started saying, I recommend we pursue this. Her ideas didn't change. Her words did. It was like watching her step into her power. So next time you're about to speak, ask yourself, am I owning this moment or am I holding back? Choose words that show you're all in, and you'll see people respond with respect and attention. Another trap to avoid is unnecessary disclaimers. You've probably heard someone say, this might sound silly, or I'm probably wrong, but before sharing a thought. Those phrases are like putting a filter on your brilliance. They make it seem like your idea isn't worth hearing. Why apologize for your thoughts? Instead of, I'm not sure if this is right, but we could try. Just say, I suggest we try. Own it with pride. Or instead of, this may be a silly question, but go with it. Could you clarify this for me? It's direct, confident, and shows you're engaged without second-guessing yourself. I used to sprinkle disclaimers into my speech like confetti, saying things like I'm no expert, but then I realized it was making people tune out before I even got to my point. Dropping those disclaimers is like stepping into the spotlight. It lets your ideas shine and signals to others that you're worth listening to. Let's talk about why this happens. Disclaimers often come from a place of insecurity, but they can sabotage your message before it even lands. By cutting them out, you're giving your ideas the full stage. For example, instead of gun, this might not be important, but just share your thought. It's like removing a heavy backpack. You feel lighter and more confident. Try practicing this in low-stakes conversations, like with a friend or colleague. Say, I have an idea instead of up. This might be nothing, but you'll notice people respond with more interest and respect. It's a small change with a big impact. Now let's move to a skill that's essential in any professional setting: giving feedback. Feedback is how we grow, but the way you deliver it can make or break its impact. Too harsh, and you might crush someone's spirit. Too vague, and they won't know how to improve. The key is to be constructive, encouraging, and specific. For example, instead of your work isn't great, try your work has a lot of potential, and adding more details could make it even stronger. It's positive and points to a solution. Or, instead of you got this wrong, say, here's a suggestion to improve this next time. It focuses on growth, not blame. One of my favorite approaches is to start with praise, then offer improvement. Like, I love the creativity in your presentation. To make it even more impactful, consider adding more visuals. This way, the person feels valued and motivated. I once had a colleague who dreaded feedback because it always felt like criticism. When I started framing it positively, like, you're doing great here, and this tweak could take it to the next level, their confidence soared, and so did their performance. Feedback should lift people up, not tear them down. Let's dig deeper into feedback, because it's not just about words, it's about connection. Imagine you're helping a teammate who's struggling. If you say, this isn't good enough, they might shut down. But if you say, you've got a solid start here, and with a few tweaks, it could be outstanding, you're sparking motivation instead of defeat. It's like coaching someone through a race. You don't yell at them for slowing down. You cheer them on to push harder. Be specific, too. This needs work. Say that. Adding more data to this section could really strengthen your argument. Specificity shows you've paid attention and care about their growth. I remember giving vague feedback once and seeing confusion on my colleague's face. When I got specific, like, try breaking this into shorter paragraphs for clarity, they lit up with understanding. Try this approach in your next feedback moment, and you'll build trust and collaboration. Let's shift to asking questions, because the way you ask can make you sound polished or unprepared. Vague questions like, what's that about, can come across as scattered or disinterested. Instead, try, could you provide more details on that topic? It's clear, respectful, and shows you're engaged. Or instead of, can you explain it again, go with, I'd appreciate it if you could clarify this point. It's professional and keeps the conversation flowing. Want to really stand out? Structure your questions to show you're listening. Instead of "what do you mean?" try "can you elaborate on how this aligns with our goals?" It proves you're invested in the conversation. Early in my career, I'd ask vague questions and wonder why people didn't take me seriously. Once I started framing them with purpose, like how does this impact our timeline, I noticed people responding with more respect. Great questions don't just clarify, they show you're thoughtful and engaged. Let's explore this further because asking questions is about more than getting answers. It's about building relationships. A thoughtful question like, "Can you share more about how this strategy worked in the past?" shows curiosity and respect for the other person's expertise. It's like extending a hand for a partnership. And here's a bonus. Listen actively to the response. Nod, make eye contact, or paraphrase what they said. Like, "So, you're saying this approach saved time last quarter? That's fascinating. Can you tell me more?" This kind of engagement makes you memorable and builds trust. I once had a boss who said my questions made her feel valued because they showed I was really listening. Try this in your next conversation and watch how it deepens the connection. Finally, let's talk about endings because how you close a conversation matters just as much as how you start it. Ending abruptly, like "okay, bye," can feel rushed or even rude. Instead, try "thank you for the insightful discussion." It's warm, professional, and leaves a positive impression. If there's a next step, be clear. Instead of "I'll get back to you," say "I'll follow up with details by Tuesday afternoon." It shows you're organized and reliable. And in professional settings, always invite future contact. Instead of "talk later," try "please reach out if you have any further questions." It's open, polished, and keeps the door open for more connection. I used to end meetings with a quick "was." "See ya," until I realized it left things feeling unfinished. Now I close with clarity and warmth, like "I appreciate your time and look forward to our next discussion." It's amazing how much more people remember you as professional and approachable. Let's linger here for a moment because endings are your final chance to make an impact. Think of them like the last note of a song. It's what lingers in people's minds. A strong closing doesn't just wrap things up, it sets the stage for future interactions. In a job interview, instead of "thanks," "bye," "thank you for the opportunity to discuss my qualifications. I'm excited about the possibility of contributing to your team. It's confident and memorable." Or in a casual setting, instead of "fine," "see you around," say "it was great catching up. Let's do this again soon." It's warm and inviting. I once ended a networking chat with a rushed goodbye and later heard the person felt brushed off. Now, I make sure to close with intention, and it's made all the difference. Practice these closings, and you'll leave people wanting to connect again. Now let's wrap up with a vocabulary spotlight to give your English that extra polish. First up, poise. This means carrying yourself with grace and confidence, like Kant. She spoke with such poise that everyone was captivated. Use it to describe someone who handles pressure like a pro. Next, concise. This is about expressing ideas clearly and briefly, like his concise explanation made the plan crystal clear. It's perfect for praising sharp communication. Then, assertive. This describes speaking confidently without being aggressive, like her assertive tone convinced the team to take action. Try it when you want to highlight strong, clear speech. Next, articulate. This means expressing your thoughts clearly and effectively, like he articulated his ideas so well that everyone understood. Use it to describe precise communication. And finally, eloquent. This is about speaking in a way that's expressive and persuasive, like her eloquent speech inspired the entire audience. Practice these words in your conversations this week, and they'll add a layer of sophistication to your speech. There you have it, 8 game-changing strategies to make your English shine with confidence, clarity, and poise. From sharp greetings to powerful closings, these tips are your toolkit for standing out in any situation. But this isn't just about sounding good. It's about feeling good. Every time you choose a strong word, cut a filler, or ask a thoughtful question, you're building confidence that radiates from within. You're not just improving your English, you're becoming a better communicator, a better leader, a better you. So here's my challenge. Pick 1 or 2 of these strategies and try them today. Maybe it's pausing instead of saying, or closing a conversation with warmth. Small steps lead to big wins, and every conversation is a chance to grow. Keep practicing, keep shining, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Ank's English. Let's make your English unstoppable.